Liability. That's what stops people from acting. Not that they don't see problems, not that they don't care. They see, they care, but they think if I say something, I become liable. If I report it, I might get blamed. If I get involved, it becomes my problem. So they say nothing, do nothing, walk away, assume someone else will handle it. 8 people saw a fire hazard. 8 people knew it could kill. 8 people chose silence over action. And 7 residents burned to death overnight. I'm Scorchy Space Heater. Item number 8. You've heard 3 confessions. Washington family, Philadelphia 2018 house fire, lives destroyed. Chen family, Montana 2021, 8 deaths, Christmas morning. Jacobson family, Montana 2024, 3 deaths, Christmas week. All from my thermostat failing. All from recall that was fought, delayed, insufficient. That was season 3. Patterns we ignore, but this is different. This is season 4, episode 5, the finale. The system that watched. Subscribe to Spoony and Friends because this episode is about people who saw danger and chose liability over lives. Write in the comments, have you ever stayed silent because speaking up felt risky? Because 8 people did exactly that, and 7 people burned to death while they protected themselves. I'm a Heattech HT2000 space heater. Same model from season 3, same defect. Thermostat sensor too close to heating element. In certain conditions, sensor overheats, malfunctions, fails to trigger shutoff. Heater continues heating no limit until something catches fire or unit melts. Manufactured 2017, part of 50,000 units sold. November 2017 through February 2018. Recall announced February 2021, but I was never returned. Purchased January 2018. Used, stored, forgotten, passed along. Still dangerous. January 2018, purchased Walmart, Philadelphia by Thomas Reed, age 63. Retired electrician. Lived alone, small apartment, building heat, inadequate old building, poor insulation, drafty winter cold. Thomas bought me supplemental heat. Used me in bedroom. Worked fine, kept him warm. 3 winters, 201, 8201, 92020, no issues. Thomas took care of me. Unplugged when not in use. Kept me away from curtains, furniture, safe distance. Never left me running unattended. Responsible use. I never overheated with Thomas. My defect didn't manifest because his usage pattern didn't trigger it. Short periods, room warmed, turned me off. That pattern didn't stress my thermostat enough to cause failure. March 2021, Thomas moved to assisted living. Health declining, couldn't live alone anymore. Packed up apartment, gave away things. Furniture to Goodwill, clothes to shelter, and me. He gave me 2 building superintendent Carlos Martinez, age 51. Building super for Riverside Apartments. Mixed-use building 40 units, low to moderate income residents. Families, singles, elderly working class. Building old 1960s construction, maintained but aging. Carlos did repairs, managed maintenance, dealt with tenant issues. Landlords, representative on site. Thomas gave me to Carlos, March 2021. Said his space heater works great. Kept me warm 3 winters, you can have it. Carlos said thanks. Took me, put me in maintenance closet basement. Storage for tools, equipment, supplies. Carlos meant to use me but forgot. Closet full of stuff. I sat there March, April, May. Summer came, no need for heaters. I sat in closet, forgotten. Here's what matters. February 2021, 1 month before Thomas gave me to Carlos, CPSC announced recall. Heattech HT2000, 50,000 units. Thermostat defect, fire risk. Recall notice, posted CPSC website, social media press releases, major news coverage. 8 deaths, Chen family, Montana, Christmas 2020. Recall, finally ordered after years litigation. February 2021, mandatory recall. Full refund returned to any retailer or mail to manufacturer. No receipt required. Just bring heater, get $40 refund. Major media campaign, TV ads, radio ads, Facebook ads. Do you own Heattech HT2000? Stop using immediately. Fire risk, full refund available. Campaign ran February through April 2021. Everywhere. Thomas saw the recall. He wasn't ignorant. Watched news, saw Facebook ads, recognized the model. That's my heater. He thought about it, but I'd never given him problems. 3 winters, no issues, worked perfectly. Never overheated, never sparked, never scared him. And he was moving anyway, March 1 month away, getting rid of it. So he thought, is it worth hassle to return? Drive to Walmart, stand in line, return heater for $40. When moving in a month, when heater worked fine for him, when never had problems, he decided no, not worth hassle. Just give it away. Someone else can use it. It's fine, worked great for me. So he gave me to Carlos. Didn't mention recall. Didn't say, hey, by the way, this model was recalled. Fire risk, maybe you should return it. Just said works great, kept me warm 3 winters. Carlos took me, put me in closet. Neither mentioned recall. Thomas knew, Carlos didn't. Person number 1 who knew, Carlos Martinez, building superintendent, received me March 2021. Stored me in closet. He also saw recall ads April 2021. Facebook ad came across his feed. Heat Tech HT2000 recall, fire risk full refund. Carlos thought, wait, Thomas gave me that heater. Is that the model? He didn't check, didn't go to basement, didn't look at me, didn't verify model number. Just thought might be should check later, but busy. Building always something needing attention. Leaky faucet, unit 302. Broken lock, unit 215. Electrical issue, unit 118. Maintenance requests constant. Carlos meant to check but forgot. Ad scrolled past, thought passed. I remained in closet, forgotten. Potentially dangerous, unknown. October 2021, tenant knocked Carlos's door. Unit 405, Jessica Williams, age 28. Single mother, 6-year-old daughter Emma. Jessica said, Carlos, my heat's not working. It's getting cold. Unit's freezing. Can you fix it? Carlos went to unit 405, checked radiator. Building had steam heat, old system radiators in each unit connected to central boiler. Carlos checked radiator, wasn't heating, felt cold. He checked other units, same floor there. Radiator's fine, just 405. Problem, issue with valve or pipe to that specific radiator. Would need to investigate, time consuming, maybe need plumber. Meanwhile, Jessica and Emma had no heat. October getting cold, nighttime temperatures dropping to 40s. Inside apartment probably 55 degrees. Too cold especially. With 60-year-old Carlos said, I'll work on fixing radiator, but might take few days, need parts, maybe. Meanwhile, you need heat, let me get you space heater, temporary, until I fix radiator. He remembered me in closet, perfect. Went to basement, found me, brought me to unit 405. Here's space heater, this'll keep you warm until I fix your heat. Use it in bedroom at night, keep door closed, concentrate, warmth. One room safer than trying heat whole apartment. Jessica said, thank you so much. Carlos said, no problem. Unplug it when you're not using it. Keep it away from curtains. Don't leave it on. If you leave apartment, basic safety. Jessica said, I will. Carlos left. Did Carlos remember the recall at that moment? Maybe vaguely, but he thought Thomas used this 3 years. No problems, it's fine. If it was really dangerous, it wouldn't have worked fine for Thomas that long. Recalls, sometimes overly cautious lawyers cover in liability. This specific heater was fine, proven by Thomas's use. That's what Carlos told himself. He gave me to Jessica. Didn't mention recall, didn't warn potential danger, just said basic safety rules. Jessica used me that night, October night, cold. She put me in bedroom. Emma's bed was there too. Small 1-bedroom apartment, Jessica and Emma shared bedroom. Jessica plugged me in, turned me on. I heated room, warmed, comfortable. Jessica felt grateful, finally warm. She and Emma slept well. Next morning, Jessica turned me off, unplugged like Carlos said. Used me each night for a week. I worked fine, heated, well, no issues. Jessica thought, this is great, better than freezing. Meanwhile, Carla's working on radiator. Traced problem valve issue, ordered replacement part, took week arrived. Installed it October 29th. Radiator, fixed heat working. Carlos went to unit 405, told Jessica, your heat's fixed now. You can return the space heater. Jessica said, oh great, thank you actually. Can I keep it just in case heat goes out again or for extra warmth, really cold nights? Carlos thought about it. Sure, its old heater was going to throw it out anyway. You can keep it. Jessica said, thank you. Carlos said, just be careful with it. Remember, unplug when not using. Jessica said, I will. Carlos left. I stayed. Person number 2, who knew? Thomas Reed. He'd given me to Carlos. He'd seen the recall. He knew model was recalled. March 2021, when he gave me away recall, was active ads running. He saw them, knew his heater was that model, chose not to return, chose to give to Carlos instead. Didn't warn Carlos, didn't say, hey, this model's recalled, maybe you should return it. Just gave it away. Problem solved for him. He moved to assisted living, forgot about me. But did he think about it later? Did he see more recall ads after moving April-May 2021? Yes, he saw them. Thought briefly, oh, I gave that heater to Carlos, hope he's not using it. Maybe I should call him, tell him about recall. But Thomas didn't have Carlos's phone number. Could have gotten it from new tenants. His old apartment could have made effort, but didn't. Thought probably Carlos isn't using it, probably threw it out. Or if using it, it's fine, worked fine for me. Thomas chose not to act. Not his problem anymore. He'd moved, given it away. Whatever happened now, not his responsibility. Person number 3, who knew? Jessica Williams. She received me October 2021. Used me daily, week until heat fixed, then kept me. Used occasionally really cold nights. She didn't know about recall. Nobody told her. But November 2021, she saw a Facebook ad. Heat-Tech HT2000 recall fire risk. She thought, wait, is that my heater? She checked, looked at me. Model number on bottom HT2000. That's it, that's the model. Recalled fire risk. Jessica was scared. This heater in my bedroom where my daughter sleeps, fire risk. She should return it immediately. Get refund $40. But Jessica also thought it's been working fine. Used it every night for months, no problems, never overheated, never smelled burning, never sparked, worked perfectly, and I need it. Heat goes out sometimes. Carlos took week to fix it last time. What if happens again? What if Emma and I are freezing? This heater keeps us warm, and $40 refund, okay, but then I'd need my new heater. New heaters cost $70, $80, so I'd lose money, spend $40 more than refund. Jessica couldn't afford that. Single mother tight budget, every dollar mattered. She decided keep it. Just be extra careful. Never leave it on unattended. Always unplug. Keep away from anything flammable. Watch it closely. It'll be fine. Worked fine so far. Plus, if it was really that dangerous, why did Carlos give it to me? He's building super responsible person. If it was seriously dangerous, he wouldn't have given it. So it must be okay. That's what Jessica told herself. She kept using me extra cold nights, always carefully, always watching. November, December, January 2022, no problems. Person number 4, who knew? Landlord Richard Torres, age 64, owned Riverside Apartments. He didn't live there, lived in suburbs. Owned building as investment rental income. Carlos managed day-to-day. Richard collected rent, paid expenses, made decisions about major repairs, capital improvements. Richard also saw recall notices February 2021. He saw news coverage, 8 deaths. Montana space heater recall Heat-Tech HT2000. Richard thought, do any of my tenants have those heaters? Should I send notice, warn them? But Richard didn't know what heaters tenants had. Tenants brought own stuff, furniture, appliances, space heaters. Landlord didn't track that. Not his business. As long as tenants paid rent, didn't damage property. What they brought was their concern. Richard thought about sending general notice, email or letter to all tenants. If you own Heat-Tech HT2000 space heater, please be aware it's been recalled. Fire risk return for refund. Protective notice cover liability, but Richard's lawyer advised against it. Richard had called lawyer March 2021, asked, should I send notice about heater recall? Lawyer said no, don't send it. Why not? Because if you send notice warning about specific product, then you're acknowledging awareness of danger. If fire happens later and you didn't enforce removal of dangerous product, you're potentially liable. You warned them but didn't make them remove it. That's partial liability. Better to say nothing. Let them recall themselves. Then it's their responsibility, not yours. If you never warned them, you never acknowledged the danger officially. Less liability. Richard said, are you sure? Lawyer said, trust me, don't send notice. Richard didn't send notice, chose liability protection over tenant safety. Person number 5, who knew? Building Inspector Margaret Sullivan, age 55, City Housing Inspector. She inspected Riverside Apartments, November 2021. Annual inspection code, compliance safety check, fire exits, smoke detectors, electrical plumbing, structural. Margaret went unit to unit, checked everything. She entered unit 405, Jessica's apartment. Checked smoke detector working, checked electrical outlets, fine. Checked windows locks, fine. She saw me in corner of bedroom, space heater. She recognized model heat tech. She'd seen recall notices. Building inspector, part of her job was noting safety hazards. Space heaters were concerned fire risk, especially in old buildings. She looked at me more closely. Model number HT20. Oh, that's the recalled model. Should say something. But Margaret thought about it. Her job was code compliance, structural safety, official violations. Space heaters weren't code violation unless improperly used. This one was unplugged away from curtains, not in use during inspection, properly positioned. No violation. And recall compliance was voluntary, not code requirement. Tenants could keep recalled products if they chose. Not Margaret's job to enforce voluntary recalls. That's consumer choice. If she noted it in report, she'd have to write it up. Might cause problems for tenant, might cause problems for landlord, might create paperwork. Easier to say nothing. Not official violation, not her responsibility. Margaret finished inspection, moved next unit, said nothing about me, wrote nothing in report. I stayed in unit 405. Person number 6, who knew? Tenant next door unit, 406. David Park, age 41. Lived alone, worked night shift factory worker. David shared wall with Jessica, unit 405. Thin walls, old building, poor soundproofing. David heard things from Jessica's apartment TV. Emma playing normal sounds. December 2021, David smelled something. Burning smell, faint coming through wall. Not smoke, not fire, but burning. Electrical burning, plastic heating. He knew that smell. Factory worker around, machinery knew burning, electric smell. He thought about it, should knock on Jessica's door, ask if everything okay, mention the smell. But David also thought maybe it's nothing. Maybe she's cooking something. Maybe it's different smell, not burning. And David didn't know Jessica well. They were neighbors, but not friends, never had conversations beyond polite. Hello. If he knocked, asked about burning smells, she might think he was intrusive, nosy, complaining. Might create awkwardness living next door to someone you made awkward. David didn't want that. He thought if it was serious fire, smoke detectors would go off. Building has smoke detectors in hallways. If real fire, those would alarm fire department would come. Since no alarm's probably fine. David said nothing. Smell faded. He went to work night shift, forgot about it. Person number 7, who knew? Jessica's friend Maria Santos, age 32, Jessica's co-worker. They worked together at a retail store, became friends. Maria sometimes picked up Emma from school when Jessica worked late. Maria visited unit 405 sometimes. December 2021, Maria was there, saw me. Said, girl, is that a space heater? Jessica said, yeah, Carlos gave it to me when my heat broke. Maria said, be careful with those. My cousin had house fire from space heater. Jessica said, I'm careful, always unplug, watch it. Maria said, is it new? Looks old. Jessica said, yeah, it's old, but works fine. Maria looked at me more closely, saw model heat tech. She thought, wait, didn't I see something about those recall or something? She pulled out phone, Googled heat tech space heater recall. Found it. February 2021 recall, HT2000, fire risk 8 deaths. She showed Jessica. Look, this model, it's recalled fire risk. You should return it. Get refund. Jessica said, I know I saw that, but it's been working fine for me. I need it. My heat goes out sometimes. It's fine, Maria said, but it killed 8 people. That's not fine. Jessica said, I'm really careful with it. Never leave it on unattended. It's okay. Maria said, you should really get rid of it. Not worth the risk, especially with Emma. Jessica said, I know, but I can't afford new heater right now. This one works. It's fine. Maria felt uncomfortable. She wanted to argue, push harder. But Jessica was her friend, didn't want to seem preachy, judging. Jessica was adult, made her own decisions. Maria said, just be really, really careful. Okay, promise. Jessica said, I promise. Maria left. She thought about it later. Should she do more? Report it to someone. Landlord Carlos, someone. But report what? Friend using recalled product. That's not illegal, not reportable. Friend's choice. Maria felt uneasy but did nothing. Chose friendship over action. Person number 8, who knew? Emma's teacher, Mrs. Anderson, age 51. Emma, first grade teacher. Emma talked about being cold at home sometimes. Said mommy uses special heater in our bedroom, keeps us warm. Mrs. Anderson didn't think much of it. Lots of families use space heaters, economic necessity. But December 2021 school sent newsletter home winter safety tips. One item, space heaters. If you use space heaters, please ensure they are not recalled. Check CPSC website. Many models have been recalled due to fire risk. Mrs. Anderson thought about Emma. Her family uses space heater. She should mention to Jessica. Next parent-teacher conference. But conferences were November already happened. Next one not until March. Mrs. Anderson thought about calling Jessica mentioning newsletter, but seemed awkward overstepping. Not teacher's place to tell parents about their home appliances. Plus, newsletter went home. Jessica would have seen it if she had recalled heater. She'd check. Trust parents to be responsible. Mrs. Anderson said nothing. 8 people new pieces. Thomas new model recalled. Gave it away anyway. Carlos received recalled. Heater gave to tenant. Jessica used recall. Heater decided keep it despite knowing recall. Richard landlord chose not to warn tenants liability concern. Margaret inspector saw recalled heater, said nothing. Not official violation. David neighbor smelled burning, said nothing. Avoid awkwardness. Maria friend found recall info, showed Jessica didn't push harder. Mrs. Anderson teacher had opportunity to mention safety newsletter, didn't. 8 people, 8 opportunities to remove danger. 8 choices not to act. January 15th, 2022, Saturday night. Temperature dropped cold, snapped below 0, unusual for Philadelphia. Heating systems struggling. Jessica's radiator working, but inadequate apartment cold, 50 degrees. Too cold for Emma. Jessica plugged me in, turned me on bedroom, usual spot away from curtains on floor, clear space. She set me on medium, waited for room to warm. Room warmed, Jessica and Emma got into bed warm, now comfortable. Jessica set alarm midnight. Wake up, turn off heater, unplug. Like always, safety routine. Fall asleep, heater running plan. Wake up midnight, turn it off. But Jessica was exhausted, long, week double shifts. She fell into deep sleep. Alarm went off midnight. She didn't hear it or half heard, turned it off in sleep. Didn't wake up fully, kept sleeping. Emma sleeping too. Heater kept running past midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Still running, still heating. Room already warm, but heater didn't shut off. Should've. Thermostat should've sensed room temperature, shut off heating element. But my defect, thermostat sensor too close to heating element. 3 years of use, thermal stress component fatigue. Tonight, 3:15 a.m. thermostat sensor failed, overheated, malfunction, stopped, sending shut-off signal. Heating element kept heating, no limit, no shut-off. I kept heating. Room got hotter, uncomfortable, but Jessica and Emma deep asleep. Cold outside, warm room blankets, deep sleep. I kept heating 75 degrees, 80, 85. My casing getting hot, very hot. 90 degrees room temperature. I was glowing orange. My plastic casing beginning to melt. 95 degrees, 100, smoke, plastic burning, acrid smell. Smoke detector finally responded. Bedroom smoke detector piercing alarm. Jessica woke up disoriented, alarm, blaring smoke, thick room, hot stifling. She looked around, saw me glowing, smoking. She jumped out of bed, grabbed Emma. Emma, wake up, fire, we need to get out. Emma groggy, scared, crying. Jessica picked her up, headed for door, but smoke thick, hard to see, hard to breathe. Jessica coughing, Emma coughing. Jessica opened bedroom door, smoke rushed out into apartment hallway. Smoke detector in hallway activated, additional alarm louder. Jessica carried Emma, headed for apartment door, front door, out, get out. But I had already ignited carpet near me. Caught fire, flames spreading fast. Cheap carpet, synthetic fibers, highly flammable. Flames spread bedroom, reached curtains. Curtains ignited, flames shot up, reached ceiling. Ceiling old acoustic tiles flammable. Flames spread across ceiling. Jessica reached apartment door, opened it. Smoke poured into building hallway, alarm echoing. Other tenants waking, doors opening. What's happening? Fire! Jessica stumbled into hallway, Emma in her arms. Other tenants emerging, smoke filling hallway. Someone yelled, "Call 911." Someone else already calling. Fire department dispatched, but fire spreading. Unit 405 fully involved, flames through windows breaking glass. Flames spread to unit above Unit 505, directly above. Elderly couple, Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, ages 71 and 69, sleeping. Smoke rising through old wooden floors, gaps, cracks. Smoke filled Unit 505. Smoke detectors went off, but too late. Smoke thick fast. Mr. Thompson woke, tried to get up. Smoke inhalation collapsed. Mrs. Thompson confused. Smoke couldn't see, couldn't breathe. Tried to reach door, collapsed. Smoke inhalation, lost consciousness. Flames reached Unit 505, burned through floor ceiling of 405, became floor of 505. Flames engulfed bedroom Mr. and Mrs. Thompson. Unconscious, flames reached them. They died. Smoke inhalation and burns. Fire also spread horizontally. Unit 406, David Park night shift. Not home unit, empty. Flames spread through walls, thin walls, old building, poor, fire barriers. Flames entered Unit 406, engulfed it. No one there, unit destroyed. Fire spread to Unit 305 below. 405, family, parents, and 2 children, ages 8 and 4. They woke, smoke alarms, father grabbed children. Mother grabbed phone keys, ran to door, got out, made it to hallway downstairs, outside safe, but unit destroyed. Fire department arrived 7 minutes. Building fully involved, flames visible from street, multiple units. Firefighters attacked, fire rescued tenants. Building evacuated 40 units, 28 units evacuated safely. Tenants outside, cold night below zero, standing in street, shocked, watching building burn. Firefighters searched building, found Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, Unit 505, deceased. Found one more victim, Unit 407, elderly man, Mr. Rodriguez, age 76, lived alone, bedridden, mobility issues, couldn't evacuate, smoke inhalation. Firefighters found him too late, deceased. Ground units 305 and 405 destroyed. Second floor units 406 and 505 destroyed. Third floor unit 407, smoke and water damage. Total 7 units, 3 deaths. Mr. Thompson, 71, Mrs. Thompson, 69, Mr. Rodriguez, 76. 23 people displaced, 6 units severely damaged. 1 unit, origin unit, 405, car space heater. Model Heattech HT2000. Serial number, traced, manufactured, 2017, purchased, January 2018. Part of recall batch never returned. Fire marshal investigation confirmed thermostat failure, defect known, recall. Active heater should not have been in use. Investigation expanded. How did recalled heater end up there? Traced chain. Thomas Reed owned it, saw recall, gave to Carlos anyway. Carlos received it, gave to tenant. Jessica received it, knew about recall, kept it anyway. Landlord Richard Torres knew about recall, generally chose not to notify tenants. Inspector Margaret Sullivan saw it during inspection, said nothing. Neighbor David Park smelled burning, said nothing. Friend Maria Santos found recall information, didn't push Jessica to remove it. Teacher Mrs. Anderson had opportunity to mention safety newsletter, didn't. 8 people, 8 opportunities, 8 failures. Lawsuits filed. 3 families, Mr. Thompson's family, Mrs. Thompson's family, Mr. Rodriguez's family, sued landlord Richard Torres, negligence, failure to warn tenants, failure to maintain safe building. Richard's lawyer tried defense, landlord not responsible for tenant's appliances. Tenant brought heater, tenant's responsibility, but plaintiffs presented timeline. Landlord knew about recall, chose not to warn tenants. Advice from lawyer prioritized liability over safety. That advice backfired, created greater liability. Jury sided with families. Richard Torres liable. Settlements total $1.8 million. Insurance covered most, but Richard, forced to sell building, couldn't recover financially. Carlos superintendent also sued, gave recalled heater to tenant, knew about recall, vaguely, didn't verify, didn't warn. Settlement $200,000. Carlos's savings wiped out, declared bankruptcy. Jessica not sued. She lost Emma. Fire department got them out. Both survived. But trauma, PTSD, Emma nightmares, Jessica guilt, overwhelming guilt. She knew saw recall, kept heater anyway. Thought it was fine, thought she was careful. 3 people died, her neighbors, because she kept recalled. Heater, because she chose temporary warmth over safety. Because $40 refund seemed not worth hassle. She couldn't forgive herself. Therapy, medication, years of recovery. Emma to therapy, 6 years old, saw her bedroom burn, saw neighbors die, carried that forever. Thomas Reed felt guilt. He'd given heater to Carlos, knew it was recalled, didn't warn him. 3 people died ultimately from that heater. His heater, he'd used it 3 years, no problem, thought it was fine, gave it away, didn't mention recall. 3 people dead. Thomas couldn't sleep. Therapy, but guilt remained. 8 people, 8 opportunities, 8 failures. Thomas knew, said nothing. Carlos knew vaguely, didn't verify. Jessica knew, explicitly kept it. Richard knew, generally chose not to warn. Margaret saw it, said nothing. David smelled burning, said nothing. Maria found recall, didn't push. Mrs. Anderson had opportunity, didn't take it. Each person had reason. Thomas didn't want hassle returning it. Carlos thought it worked fine for Thomas, so was fine. Jessica needed it, couldn't afford replacement. Richard feared liability. Margaret thought, not official violation. David didn't want awkwardness. Maria didn't want to seem pushy. Mrs. Anderson thought, not her place. All reasonable thoughts, all understandable motivations, all wrong. 7 people died, all preventable. All because 8 people chose silence over action, comfort over courage, self-protection over speaking up. They sent me here. Item 8, not just for 7 people who died. Mr. Thompson, Mrs. Thompson, Mr. Rodriguez, for being instrument of system that values liability over lives. System where 8 people saw danger. 8 people knew it could kill. 8 people chose to say nothing, do nothing, assume someone else would handle it. And 7 people died while they protected themselves. That's my 4th confession. Season 4 finale. The system that watched this season wasn't about people who didn't know. It was about people who did know and chose not to act. Spoony, 6 people saw contamination. No one stopped it. 23 kids poisoned. Knifey, 7 people got safety alert. No one verified. 3 fingers lost. Spike, 7 people saw outbreak, building budget, deferred action. 6 elderly died. And me, Scorchy, 8 people saw fire hazard. No one spoke up. 7 burned to death. That's season 4. Systems that watch. People who seize. People who choose silence. People who protect themselves. And victims who pay the price. If this story made you think about dangers you've seen and stayed silent about good, hit like button. Write in comments, what have you seen that scared you but you said nothing about? Why? What stopped you? And subscribe to Spoony and Friends. 4 seasons, 20 episodes, 142 victims. All from systems that watched. All from people who saw and chose not to act. Thank you for watching season 4. Check your space heaters. Check your smoke detectors. Check your courage. Speak up, even when it's uncomfortable. Especially when it's uncomfortable. See you next season.